could business turn over after a few years, and will it be considered as an opportunity?
We are looking for people that are going to create lots of jobs, but one of the requirements is that you have to find the €75,000. So unless you have €75,000 of your own, you have to.
I have.
You have. Okay. Well, that makes life simpler. That makes life simpler. So you don't have to convince anybody else. You still need a business plan, and it has to be innovative. That's the rule for the for this startup immigrant visa. Now, if they've been here long enough, they don't have to come in on that visa, that way. If they've been here long enough, they can.
Well, there is always the opportunity of the business permission scheme as well. That's for 300,000. Now, as I've said when I was speaking earlier on, the business permission scheme, which requires you to have €300,000, requires you to create 2 jobs. That is being reviewed, so that may be amended moving forward. But I can't actually say at the moment how that will be reviewed. The Startup Entrepreneur Program is specifically designed to try and assist the kind of businesses that Morgan has been speaking about, high potential startups in particular. So,
what if I don't have the 300,000, but I have 75,000?
Area that have high potential to create jobs and to trade internationally. We are looking for less capital, less startup capital than 75,000 because of the significant potential of those schemes. The business permission scheme deals with businesses that may not necessarily have the international element, may not necessarily have the same level of potential, and consequently more resources are needed in order for the 300,000. But these schemes are being reviewed. That's all I can say. I can't actually give you any guidelines as to how they will be reviewed. But we do realise that business permission perhaps is not suiting the purpose that it was set up for. But there will be something similar. I don't think it will change too dramatically, but there may be some amendments to it. That's the best I can say at the moment.
我给大家稍微讲一下刚刚他那位先生的问题。那位先生就是说他有资金，这样的话就是75,000，然后呢他有一些business idea， 有一些那个就是生意方面的那个想法和主意。像他这样能不能满足75,000的那个就是企业家移民的要求？然后呢这2位先生呢，他们都是说就是强调重复了。之所以原先的300,000减到现在的75,000，重要的一点就是说，你的这个 idea， 你一定要是有新兴的产业，有新的一个产业，新的一个 idea， 要跟其他的不一样。另外呢，很重要的一点就是说，它有向全世界发展的一个潜力。如果说你只是爱尔兰当地的，你没有出口的机会的话，你是很难满足这个75间企业家移民的要求。
3大点记住了啊。
I have an idea. I can create jobs. And I can,
the minimum 10 jobs.
It's very specific,
你需要是就是说新兴企业，然后创业10个那个就是工作机会。另外，你要可以往世界上发展，这样的话，你有可能可以得到这个企业家移民的一个
除了75,000
由。
还有3条这么大的条件，还有每2年还得要重新写一次，才出现评估。
I have the confidence that we can make a million in 3 or 4 years. And
You have to be able to demonstrate to us that you can build a business successfully, which is confidence is very good, but we have to have confidence too.
Would you suggest I do a business plan?
Yes.
To say
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry,
然后给那位先生先讲，因为他是第一。
我想问一下，这个10个工作机会是只是在开始的时候就需要提供，还是在2-3年之内提供？然后还有说这10个工作机会是欧洲的工作机会，还是爱尔兰本地的工作机会？或者说 说是持有 Stamp 4的其他国家的。
This gentleman asked the 10 employment that has to be required initially or within 2 to 3 years.
It has to be within 2 to 3 years, but it must be 10 employment in Ireland, in the company, not subcontractors, not outside Ireland, not part-timers.
And the status about the employees, do they have to be the EEA or they can be non-EEA or Irish citizens?
Okay, we have a rule for 10 jobs. We don't specify that it must be Irish. This is for our support. Visa different, okay? For our support, there must be 10 jobs. Now, there must be legal jobs, so you would have to get a work permit for the others, okay? And if a lot of the others had to be brought in and you only had 10 jobs, you might find it difficult.
就是说刚刚回答您的那个问题，就是说这个10个工作呢是在2到3年之后您要有10个工作，一开始它没有一个工作的要求，这个是跟以前300天不一样的。另外一方面呢，它这个10个工作在2、3年之后，它的那个国籍的话呢也没有要求，但是必须是在爱尔兰，不可以在国外，是在爱尔兰的一个就业机会。这些人呢，他们需要是合法的工作，就是他们一定要有身份。如果他们是非如果他们是非欧盟的话，他们需要有劳工证。但是从劳工证这方面考虑的话，劳工证有劳工证法律的requirement 要求。一般来讲的话是50-50，你要有50%的那个欧盟的人，然后50%非欧盟的人。但是从那个就是 Enterprise Island 的角度来讲呢，他们只是需要你可以创造10个合法的一个职位。
For Enterprise Ireland, if you had a plan that was going to create 20 jobs and 3 of them were specialist people from outside the EEA and you got a work permit for those 3 people, that would not be a problem.
就是从 Enterprise Island 的角度来讲的话呢，如果说你的那个计划里头可以创造20个就业机会，其中3个呢是属于就是高专业的、高专家的那个要求的。如果这3个专家呢，你要从国外就是请进来，然后你要给他申请工作签 ，Enterprise Island 没有问题。
他如果接受你的劳工证就容易是吗？
没有。我只是想讲一下，因为刚才不看，其实大部分70%真的是听不懂。我想办法听懂，我也很认真。
翻译了呀。
我知道，但是还是不怎么清楚。
你有什么特别的问题吗？
特别的问题是不是像 Dragon Dan 一样那样去审核？比如说有那种 idea 什么，是不是像那样？
I think this gentleman just wants me to summarize what you were talking before. I think he had, because it's quite a bit going on, so if you don't mind, I just summarize to him. Maybe in a two. 我就给他说一两句，他就是说跟那个 Dragon Dan 可以说是有一定的那个
TV program could
Dragon
for the few
like
employees in there.
他是说那个 Enterprise Island 它会有一些就是说提供的，如果说你要做生意，你要刚开始做生意的话，你的生意满足 Enterprise 要求，他们会提供资金，他们会提供一些就是说课程，然后可以帮你发展自己，发展你的企业，但是他们是有要求的。如果说你要获得他们的那个支持的话，你要跟其他公司竞争。
他这里刚才讲了，就是说 Dragon Dan 这种是给你一笔资金，做你的股东一起发展。这个我们这个 Enterprise Island 第一是我们国家贸易局，他给你的这个机会只是6个月，你在6个月之内就要做成。哎，你要还钱的，你不要以为他不还钱，他是你的股东，他把你公司拿走了。这个Dragon Dan是2码事的啊。
没有想多了解信息，谢谢。
是2码事的哈。
But raising any money or getting any help for a business is about pitching the business. It's like Dragon's Den in a way, but Dragon's Den is done for drama, for the theatre, for the TV, so it's a little bit unreal. But one of the venture capital companies that has 100 million to invest, Sean O'Sullivan, who's on Dragon's Den, is one of the owners of that company. So it's not all that different. So the pitching is the same, but Dragon's Den is for TV. The questions are more sensible and less drama. Okay.
It's a drama.
Yeah.
听懂了吗？
行。
他背进了，他英文不错。
Thank you everybody spending the time and give us so much help. 我想问一下，Mr. O'Sullivan，就是他给的这些帮助，无论是金钱上的，还是说一些 support， 是需要我们来具备什么样一些条件，然后怎么样申请？还有就是这些需不需要有付一些，然后需要把它那个有 repayment， 或者是说需不需要付一些 interest？
This lady asked for the supports Enterprise Island provides. What's the requirements? Do they need to pay for anything, or do they have to return in the future for the support?
Okay, that depends on the supports. Okay, so if we are running a development program, there may well be a fee for the program, so you pay for that.
有些是需要付费的。
Okay, so our IGAP program, which is a development program for internet companies, where we bring world experts in once a month to talk to the clients and advise them. I think we charge €3,000 for that.
In the earlier you mentioned you probably get a fund for the starting up your business in the beginning, and then I just wondered, probably you get a 20,000 for research or whatever, and do you have to pay them back, and how much interest rate do you?
Okay. The €50,000 that I mentioned at the beginning, that's an investment, so we take an equity stake. So you don't pay back an equity stake, but we would hope that at some stage, if you sell the company, we would make a profit on our equity. It depends on the nature of the funds, but the bulk of our money for startups, not all, is in the form of either ordinary shares or money that eventually you pay back. Okay, so it's not free money for startups, because we take a risk. Now, if the startup fails, there is no personal guarantees, there's no warranties, there's no liability. So there is nothing like that. Now, we do a lot of homework before we invest, but once we've invested, if you have been honest with us, honest, not successful, honest, we do not look for the money back, if you fail. But if you succeed,
and the government, because you have basically the government owns 10% of my company, so you get a 10% of the profit in the end every year.
Mostly what happens with the type of companies we support is they don't pay out profits, and mostly they grow, and then they get sold if they're very successful.
The rate grow, is it?
They grow.
The profit they put back to the growth.
That's mostly what happens. So we rarely get dividends, but about 1/8 of the companies we've invested in have been sold to big companies like Microsoft and so on, and then we make good money. In some of the businesses, we get our money back after 5 years, and it's a 3% interest in that case.
Thanks so
much. 今天这个会已经搞得很长。Oh yes, just a minute. Yes.
Okay.
Do you need a mic?
No, some of the people here are here for their friends and relatives in China.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone in China who might be looking at coming to Ireland to start up? Where would they start? What's the first port of call?
On the stage of growth, maybe apply to an accelerator. And in general, if they're a reputable accelerator and you apply in good time, some Chinese have received visas to attend an accelerator before they raise any money, just for the duration of the accelerator.
Have you people on the ground in China?
Yes, but generally we would deal with them from Dublin. In general, unless you have
fairly... You have an office in that.
We have an office in Shanghai, we have an office in Hong Kong, we have an office in Beijing, and we may have an office in Guangzhou, but I'm not sure.
Guangzhou, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just apply from there.
No, you apply to Dublin.
No, you directly apply to them.
And you would, we would expect anybody starting a business. We support people where the company is based here. Yeah. If you have a business already in China and you want to set up a subsidiary, you talk to IDA or sister IDA. But we support people who are going to be based here. And unless you had fairly good English, we would think you might find it difficult to run a business here. And recruit Irish people and sell into Europe, which is what you want to do. So, in general, we just deal through English. I mean, if you can convince us that you can successfully run a business without speaking English, we'll listen. But we listen to anybody making a good case, because there's always exceptions, and sometimes the exceptions create lots of jobs. But in general, we don't have our office in China can do speak Chinese because they're selling, but we only speak English. Lawrence and Xiaojing all speak Chinese very well, I presume. I don't know enough to know, both Mandarin and Cantonese. We would normally deal through English, and you normally come to us in Dublin through that. And there's an email address on that part of the website.
这两个部门要搞清楚，一个 IDA 是管从外面到爱尔兰来投资的，那 Enterprise 2呢是管爱尔兰的生意，再到爱尔兰来做生意的，是两码事儿哈。这管爱尔兰的生意到外面去的，所以他那个 Enterprise 2的这3个 office 在中国的，只管他们爱尔兰的生意，在那个中国的生意，就是他们来管你那个，他不会管你的申请的，你申请一定要直接向 Enterprise 2直接申请。我们今天这个会已经 we have last quite long, so I hope if that didn't cover everybody's questions， 如果有人还有问题，请您书面写下来，好吧？